Who was Harriet Tubman? Before we get to answer this question, we need to know the background and the early life experiences of Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was born in March 1822 in Dorchester County, Maryland. In Harriet's young years, she worked as a house servant. However, years later, she was sent to work in the fields. At around 12 years old, Harriet was hit on the head, causing severe damage by her enslaver. This led to her having major seizures for the rest of her life. Getting hit on the head was a punishment for refusing to restrain a field hand who had left the plantation without her permission. These brutal conditions of slavery left Harriet with great desires to escape. Before we move on to her accomplishments, we need to talk about her family life, as they were a big part of her life. The name Harriet, which is one of the most famous names in American history, actually came from Harriet's mother. In Harriet's close family, she had 8 siblings, which consisted of 4 brothers and 4 sisters. Harriet eventually fled north to Philadelphia, abandoning her family. However, she was promising freedom. For some of her siblings, like one of her sisters, she was able to escort her and her sister's 2 children to freedom. However, others were less fortunate. Harriet Tubman was a conductor of the Underground Railroad, which means that she was conducting all these people into freedom. She's often one of the biggest names we think of when talking about the Underground Railroad because she freed over 70 people. And in those 70 people, she never lost one passenger. Her contribution to the Underground Railroad would lead into how did Harriet Tubman make an impact on the United States. Despite being known for her great success while conducting people through the Underground Railroad, she was also considered the first African-American woman to serve in the military. In the military, she served as a nurse and a Union spy, and she was able to be a spy by using the skills that she had learned while conducting the Underground Railroad. Additionally, Harriet formed friendships with many abolitionists, politicians, writers, and intellectuals, and this expanded connection between the races, and it was a big step in American history for equal rights. So to cycle back to the original question of who was Harriet Tubman, now we have all these answers and all these qualities that she had. To put them together in the end, Harriet Tubman was a free black woman in the United States, the first African-American woman in the U.S. military, a conductor of the Underground Railroad, and one of the most influential people in history.